Welcome to the Louie Minor Show. I'm your host, Bell County Commissioner Louie Minor. Today is January 26, 2025. We have a lot to talk about, so let's get started. We'll start off with the agenda for Monday, January 27th, 2025, like we always do. We have the invocation, Pledge of Allegiance, consent agenda items. We have considered the minutes of the January 21st, 2025 meeting of the Commissioners Court. We have claims, accounts payable, payroll, restitution, jury pay. And then we have, approved service agreement with iDocket for Ruby Red Services to provide county criminal court case information availability for the Bell County clerk at no cost to the county. Then we have item B, consider authorizing the transfer of one 1999 Freightliner van coach VIN number 41368 from the Sheriff's Office to the Emergency Management Department, and one 2003 Ford Super Duty F450 VIN number 1FDXE45F33HB 17996 to the Election Department. Then item C, receive for record certificate of course completion, Open Meetings Act and Public Record Information Act from Bell County Commissioner Precinct 3, Greg Reynolds, pursuant to Government Code 551.005. Then we have County Engineer, consider and approve the preliminary plat of Woodford Salado, being a 50.398 acre 12 lot, 1 block subdivision located in Bell County Precinct 2. B, consider and approve final plat of Stinnett Mill Estate, Phase 1, being a 7.350 acre 5 lot, 1 block subdivision located in Bell County Precinct 2. Then regular agenda items, consider the appointment of Bell County Facilities Director. B, receive an update and analysis on the Bell County Elections Department's Americans with Disability Act compliance program and assessment of the November 5th, 2024 general election. Consider for approval Loop Jail construction projects, change order ALLW number ALLW number 70.2 PCO number 18 and 18R1, Area 3 redesign in the amount of $37,359.45. Then we have consider for approval Loop Jail construction project order ALLW number 144, regards of RFI number 360, Area 2, parapet end caps and stone parapet extension in the amount of $21,258. Item C, consider for approval Loop Jail project change order ALLW number 158 regarding ASI number 13 penthouse security wall in the amount of $3,297. F, consider for approval Loop Jail construction project change order ALLW 165 regarding PCO 165, Area 10, Level 3 and 3M dorm walls in the amount of $71,694. G, consider for approval Loop Jail construction project change order ALLW number 232 regarding RFI number 490 fresh air court storefronts in the wall in the amount of $2,209. And then finally, we have H, consider for approval loop gel construction project change order ALLW number 233 regarding caulking at the house tower area 10 and the amount of $53,992. And that is everything for our regular agenda. Now we'll switch over to our workshop. Immediately following, we'll have reports and updates from various county offices and departments, capital improvement projects, update on jail expansion and temporary jail facilities, the Killeen Annex, diversion center renovations. Then we have discuss FY 2024 CIP plan. Then discuss the establishment of an opioid steering committee. Then after that, request to temporarily reclassify a vacant sheriff's office clerk position into up to 2 extra help positions to assist with the development, refinement, and overall reorganization of existing and or new policies or departmental practices. That'll be in the morning. Then in the afternoon, our workshop beginning at 1:30. Discuss interlocal agreements with the cities on plat approval, delegation authority, and other related issues. Then discuss Chaparral Road improvements and MOU with the city of Killeen. And then present an updated master plan and receive an updated 5-year capital plan regarding Cadence Bank Center. And that is everything for the workshop. And then let's see, we have a couple of posted meetings. January 27th, we had the Bell County Historical Commission meeting in Belton at 6 p.m. January 28th, we have Central County Services Board meeting at 5 p.m. in Temple. And then February 6th at 10 a.m., we have the pre-proposal conference for Killeen Annex 101 East Central. And that is it for the agendas and workshop. So I guess this week, what I'd like to talk about, there's 2 things that I attended this week and very informative. This is Democratic politics at its highest levels here in the state and nationally. So on Wednesday, down in Austin, we had a DNC debate between Democratic National Committee, that's who runs the national apparatus, the machine, Democratic machine in Washington, D.C. Who runs that? It is vacant. Now that one, I know it changes a lot. It's always someone new. Seems like every 2 years or something like that, we always get someone new in there. And I really never kept up with it much because, it's so removed. I think I do remember one time Tom Perez, who was the housing or labor secretary, I think the labor secretary under Obama. After the Obama administration, he became the DNC chair and he came to Austin. And I remember going to that event and meeting him. But yeah, outside of that, really not a lot of communication, not a lot of interaction here locally with the DNC chair. But they came, the front runners came. Now, they say there's a big list of people that are running for DNC chair, but the top 3 contenders came to Austin, and it was at the Driscoll, the debate. And I'm going to play the end comments for you between all 3 of them, so you can hear how they ended their thing. But it was Martin O'Malley, former governor, of Maryland, former Baltimore mayor, and presidential candidate. Then it was Ben Winkler, and he's state chair in Minnesota or Wisconsin, one of the two. And then state chair Ken Miller, who is state chair of the other one, Wisconsin. But very interesting that all three of them said that how important Texas is to the future of the Democratic Party, how important Texas is now to the Democratic Party, and how we need to start investing locally in the Democratic Party. So you'll hear their closing remarks. And then on yesterday, I went to the LBJ Ranch. Former president, Lyndon B. Johnson, my favorite president, did a lot for working people, everyday people. But so there was a state chair debate after this last election. If y'all remember, our longtime chair, Gilberto Hinojosa, resigned. So that created a vacancy, and they're looking to fill that vacancy. Now, that vacancy is only going to be temporary because we will elect at our next convention, it'll be summer of next year of 2026, our next state convention. That's when we will actually elect a state chair. So, like I said, this is just a temporary appointment, but there are debates scheduled. This was the first one. I don't think everyone attended, but a majority of the candidates that announced that they're going to run for it did attend it. It was good. It was a packed house. Like I said, it was my first time at the LBJ Ranch. Never been there. I drove by it a couple of times, but this was my first opportunity that I had to stop and drive and explore. And it was a little awe-inspiring. You know, this is where president used to be, and decisions were made. You know, important people came out there at the time, and that area shaped our world. So yeah, it was pretty interesting being out there, and how fitting our first Democratic debate for the state chair was out there. And you know, it's going to talk about revitalizing, reshaping our state party so we can start winning. So it was good to hear everyone out there. The state chair was a whole lot different than DNC chair. You know, the state chair, you see, I seen him all the time. Obviously, I go to all the conventions, so he was always very instrumental in running the conventions and doing stuff at conventions and going to events out in counties, and he would always make himself available. So this is a very important, and he was always on TV, national TV, making comments on things. So the DNC, or the Texas State Chair, is a very important job, both locally for Democrats and nationally as well. So I'll play their closing remarks as well, and then we will talk about a little bit about what's going on locally.
Thank you, gentlemen. You can each do 2-minute closing statements. We'll do seat order. So starting with Chairman Martin.
Well, we have an amazing opportunity in this moment. In every crisis, there's an opportunity, and it's to reimagine the DNC. There's so much that's still unpacked from this last election. We don't have all the data or the answers at this point. But what I do know is, over my 34 years in politics, I've seen a DNC that has not been organizing in a way that's building long-lasting and durable infrastructure to help us. As I mentioned before, what is the role of a political party? It's singular. There's no brownie points coming in second place. You can't improve people's lives, as at the end of the day, you lose. We have to win again. Our national party has to win again. And that's because it's some sort of sport and we just pat ourselves on the back or put a check mark on the board and congratulate ourselves. Winning and losing is a difference in so many people's lives. So many people who rely on our party to build power for them. We're hoping that we let people who share their values and our values so they'll make a difference and maybe make their lives a little bit better. That's what all of us are fighting for. That's what all of you are fighting for. The reality for me is this DNC can do so much more in partnership with all of you on the ground and so many throughout this country. If we would only reimagine. This is our opportunity to do that together. I'll leave you with this. This may disqualify me in some of your eyes, but I don't have all the answers. I'm both excited and terrified at the same time. I've never been a DNC chair, like this guy said that. I don't know what's waiting for us now. But I have a plaque in my house that says none of us are as smart as all of us. And I believe that all of us can figure out any of the challenges that this Democratic Party is going through, and we can overcome. So thank you so much for having me tonight. I really appreciate it.
We're in this crisis moment now as a country. We're watching the hammer blows rain down from the White House. In Texas, you've been experiencing this for a long time from your state government. And we're in a moment where people, if you ask the general public, they don't really trust either party. There was a headline about how trust in the Democratic Party was at an all-time low of 33%. And someone pointed out in the comments that trust in the Republican Party was 36%. People just don't trust our political system right now. And if we want to build change, we have to build trust. And if we do that, then we can think bigger. I think a lot in this work, we think about 2026, the midterm elections, and 2028, the presidential elections. If we do everything right, we get a federal trifecta, we can pass the national laws that we've been waiting for. We can finally pass the Women's Health Protection Act and end Texas's abortion ban, and the Protected Right to Organizing Act, and end election and the Felonious Voting Rights Act and the Freedom to Vote Act. We can do all that. But then the next year comes, and 2030 could be like 2010, when Republicans sweep in a backlash and then rig this country for the next decade. And I think our job right now is to build a party strong enough that not only can we win elections for these next two election cycles, but we can shift the center of gravity and build the kind of enduring coalition that can win the next decade beyond. And this has to run through Texas. There's a reason that we're here, because the vision for building the kind of country that everyone deserves a chance to live in, it requires us to do this work with a national party as a catalytic investor, to work with the union movement, to work with our partners and our allies across this country in this state, to support the work that you do every day, to be able to win that trust and win up and down the ballot the way we can change the entire future trajectory of this country. You are on the front lines. We're not really counting on you. We have to show up in solidarity with you every step of the way for the years to come. And if I'm the DNC chair, you have my commitment that we will do exactly that. Thank you.
All that we need depends on change. And this election for DNC chair is definitely a change election. We can kid ourselves and pretend that if we just do a little better in 7 battleground states next time, it'll all fix itself. It's not going to fix itself. We have to fix it. We have to embrace the truth that this is a moment for change. The party's future, our country's future, depends on the new South. It depends on Texas. It depends on the Lone Star State becoming the North Star State. When you all have 42 congressional votes, you are going to become the great state that determines our nation's future. So the question we have to ask ourselves is, do we have the courage to change? Do we really have the courage to make investments in voter registration, to up our game when it comes to digital communications? Or do we want to keep doing things the way we have been doing things? What I offer you as your next chair, if you should so choose, is someone who has proven his abilities as an operational turnaround change leader at every level. In the city of Baltimore, the neighbors of my city voted for me because I promised we would change. And we did, and we made our city a safer and better place, and I was reelected. As governor, we passed and got a lot of important things, some of them like a living wage done for the first time, because we changed the operations of our state. And President Biden tapped me to go to Social Security, the largest domestic program in America, not because things were going well, because it was on a steep downward trajectory, and we turned it around. That's what we have to do. We need you, Texas. Thank you for coming out here. If we had the courage to embrace this moment and vote for change, we can save our country. I need your help, and I thank you for being here tonight. Thanks a lot.
So there you heard the candidates. Once again, that was Ken Martin. He is the chair of the Minnesota Democrats. And then we had, speaking next, was Ben Winkler. He is the Wisconsin Democratic chair. And then former Governor Martin O'Malley. And he's the only one that said it in his closing remarks. But if you can hear the whole debate if you go to the Texas Democratic Party YouTube page, you can see and hear the debate there in its entirety. And all of them said how important Texas is to the future of our nation. We're going to be getting, probably after redistricting and the census and in 2030, we'll be getting, a lot more congressional seats. So that's why it's important. We're going to have more people here, obviously, and hopefully it'll be more competitive, more blue, and that's what we're trying to do. So part of that strategy, though, of turning Texas blue and breaking our 30-year drought of no statewide elected officials is to have a chair, a Democratic chair with a plan, a winning plan. So now I want to play for you the closing remarks from the Texas Progressive Caucus chair debate that was yesterday, January 25th at the LBJ Library. So let me pull that up for you.
All right, for those of you on the live stream, we're going to move to our closing. For those of you on the live stream, we're going to move to our closing statements now. You know what? I'm going to do something I really shouldn't do. I'm going to let the audience decide. Do y'all want to start with Patricia at this end? All right, Patricia, it's up to you. No offense down here, but I'm trying to take some feedback. Trying to be better about that in my life. And this way I don't have to keep track of who I'm going to because we're only doing one. So Patricia, 2-minute closing statement. We'll move down to the direction of my right. Thank you.
For sure. I have been serving for a very long time, even long before I knew it. And that sense of public service was instilled by 4 generations of military members in my family. Not because, we just love the military and that's what we want to do, because it is inherent, not just in me, but in my family members, in my son who's over there taking pictures and stuff, who has worked with me on several campaigns, that the right thing to do is to help people, to put ourselves at the forefront and to do the right thing even when others don't agree with us. Let me tell you, it is time that we win statewide office, and I bring the background, the experience, the leadership, and the vision to make that happen. I hope to be able to serve as your next TDP chair because it would be an honor to serve you. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Patricia Olivares. Patsy Woods-Martin, 2-minute closing statement.
So when I was at Annie's List and we worked with budding candidates, our amazing political director, Monica Gomez, would ask them first to answer the question, why me? Why now? This is my why me, why now moment, right? Why me? You know, I've spent a lot of time over the course of the last couple of weeks, especially talking to members of the State Democratic Executive Committee. And what I'm hearing from them is that they're looking for a strong leader who can build coalitions, who can listen to stakeholders, who can build a plan, make that plan, execute it, fund it to win elections. I have a proven track record of doing that, and I'd like to apply that to the Texas Democratic Party so that we can win elections. And why now? Well, now, this is a deeply personal commitment for me. I'm a mother. I'm a grandmother. I am worried about the kids in this state. What is happening? You know, our education system is 41st in the country when it comes to fiscal health. That's today. That's before these right-wing nut jobs get a hold of it and continue to defund public education in this state. They've taken away the God-given rights of women, of members of the LGBTQ community, and we have got to stop that. We've got to stop it, and we've got to reverse it. You know, our hero and my friend Cecile Richards said, women, I got to read it, because said, women aren't usually in it for the glory. They're in it to get shit done. And I am in it to get shit done.
Thank you very much, Patsy. We will allow each candidate to go 10 seconds over if you are quoting Cecile Richards. All right? Chair Parker Mims, your 2-minute closing statement.
Thank you so much. No Cecile Richard quotes, though. If you think that the TDP train is going down the right track and we just need a new commander and you just need to throw money at it, I am absolutely not the person you should vote for, because I do not think we are going down the right track. I think that we need to create a strategic plan in 4 areas: fundraising, engagement, voter registration, and get out the vote. What separates me from everyone is I have done all those things in my county. In the 7th largest county in the state, I have done those things in each election cycle that we've had. And TDP has never once asked us how we did it. No one. We've increased voter registration. We were number 1 for percentage increase in 2022. Nobody asked us how we did it. Not powered by the people, not anyone. We didn't set up tents. We had a plan. We have people in Denton County who are ready to take that plan statewide. We want to work with county parties because it's more than just money. It's knowing how to create the infrastructure to build a party. And for some people, that might mean just gaining 20, 30 more people because they're in such small counties. But we have to stop and create a strategic plan in all of those areas. It is not simply going to be a new state chair that's going to help us flip. It is going to be the new plan that allows all of us to participate, to increase engagement, to increase fundraising, to do this continuously, not simply at get out the vote time. When we do get out the vote time and we do that, we're already behind the 8 ball and we've already lost. That includes getting engagement with our elected officials, getting them out, explaining what's happening, what they're trying to vote against. There's so many ways we can increase engagement, but that also includes working with caucuses that empower you guys to go out and increase engagement in those areas that you are particular to. I'm the CEO that will do that because I've done that. And I ask you to vote for me because it's time to win in Texas. And I remember more than Ann Richards. I remember Mark White when he was governor, because we can win in Texas.
All right. Thank you very much. Kendall Scudder, 2-minute closing statement, please, and thank you.
First, I really appreciate the opportunity to sit up here with these awesome candidates today. And you've been a real trooper, Aaron. I really appreciate getting to know you more. Before I start, too, I also want to thank my brilliant wife, Carly, who lets me go and play politics and is so supportive and holding life down while I try to do all of this. I've given my life to this party. This party means a lot to me because this party was here for my family when no one else was. And we have an obligation to build a party that is here for people who need us. People are under attack right now. And if they do not feel that they can trust our party, they will continue to not show up for us whenever we need them at a ballot box. That's why I'm running to return our party back to the grassroots. You know I'll do it because you've seen me do it. You don't do politics as long as I have without making a couple enemies. And every time that I've been asked to, I stand on the side of activists against the establishment class in Austin, who I'm sure is going to continue to try to tear me down for the next 2 months. But I stood at the front of that room as one of the vice chairs of this party and have a 100% voting record with this caucus. I am the only person in this race who has that voting record that I can point to. I am a person who understands that the people doing the work on the ground in this party are more important than any consultant in any room in DC or in Austin. And if we are not empowering our grassroots to do the work on the ground to get this accomplished, we will never be able to move the needle in Texas. This is about winning elections. This is about building an infrastructure that is long-lasting. What did we wish that the party did 40 years ago that we can start doing today to make sure that the party is ready 40 years from now? The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The next best time's today. And I'm here to start planting those trees and working with all of you. I'm going to make some mistakes. And I hope that you feel that you have enough of a relationship with me from all the time we've spent on the fields together and in the trenches that you can call me and let's talk it out. You're going to have a chair who respects you, who wants you at the table, and is ready to build an apparatus that will take back Texas for working people. Thank you guys for the opportunity to be here today.
Thank you very much. Aaron, your 2-minute closing statement, please, and thank you.
There are 134 counties that have been neglected. And if you don't know who I'm referring to, it's the 134 pack. There are a lot of counties that have been neglected for far too long, and we can't do it anymore. We can't do it anymore. My dad, when he was 17 years old, his leg was maimed, right? And so his entire life, he was on disability. His fixed income was $504 a month, right? So when I was growing up in high school, I couldn't ask him for $5 to go out with my friends, right? They were generous. I had good friends, right? They'd always pay for everything, pay for the festivities of the night. But I couldn't even ask him for $5 to put gas in somebody's car to go cruising, right? We were that broke. That's who I am. That's where I come from. My life has turned around, and I've become a great success by all intents and purposes. To my father, right, who grew up in the Depression era, a good job to him was working inside. It didn't matter if you were a cashier. It didn't matter what you did. If you were inside, you had it made, period. We've done a lot more. I've done a lot more in my life for that. That's who I am. That's who I represent. I represent rural Texas. I am rural Texas. I'm proud to be from rural Texas. I'm proud to be from where nobody pays attention, right? We made our own fun. We did everything that we wanted to do. And that's what I'm going to do as your next chair. I'm going to represent these areas, and I'm going to work with anybody in these areas, and I'm going to work with the cities as well. We all got to, pitch in together, right? But the bottom line is this, is we cannot neglect these small towns anymore. That is my message to Texas, right? And I believe that if we can make small improvements in these areas, right? We don't have to win them. We just got to improve in them, our percentages. We can win Texas, right? And so I don't want to neglect Texas. We shouldn't do it anymore. And I hope every single one of these candidates on here are stand with me. It sounds like they do. But I think we got a lot of work to do in Texas. And I think that we can win Texas if we spend time in rural Texas. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. We're going to welcome Clayton back up here to say some final words. I just want to say a thank you to the Texas Progressive Caucus, to the co-host Progress Texas, to each of the candidates, and frankly to all of y'all for a very spirited conversation. My name is Jeff Rotkoff. Please follow our work at thebarbedwire.com. Please come see me and get your Put Elon on the Rocket sticker before the day is over. Thank you all very much.
Well, there you go. That was once again Patricia Olivares. She was is campaign manager, strategist, I guess consultant, done a lot of Democratic work with organizations all over the state of Texas. Then we have Patsy Woods Martin, who was the executive director of Annie's List. And if you don't know what Annie's List is it's an organization that trains, promotes, recruits women to run for office. So it's a great group. They've been around for a long time, ever since I've been involved in politics, and doing good things. Been doing good things in Texas to get more women elected to office. Then we had Delia Parker Mims, who is the Denton County chair, Democratic chair, current Democratic chair. She claims, and I'm sure she's right, but Denton County is the only county in the state of Texas this last election cycle that Democratic turnout went up. All other counties went down. So if that's what Denton County did, then I'm very interested in seeing what they did and how we can replicate that, regardless if she gets elected or not as the state chair. Then we had Kendall Scudder. He is, I believe, the finance chair now for the Texas Democratic Party and been involved in politics, obviously, for a long time, like you said. And then finally, we had Aaron Orojo, who is, I believe he said he was up from the Panhandle and been involved in politics for a long time. So a lot of good people. There are a couple of other people that are here on the list. I'm looking at the Texas Democratic Party chair list. People that signed up was Reverend Steve Miller, Rabbi Misha Ben David, and then Darcille Toby, and Mary Gomez. Those are all the other people that have signed up to be chair, but was not at this debate. But it was a great debate. I enjoyed it. There's going to be more. I think the next one that's going to be close by that I plan to go to is going to be in Austin sometime in March, whenever they get ready to actually elect. And by they, I mean the SDEC chair people that they'll be electing the chairperson. So, yeah, good things are happening in our party. You know, people are scared now, and everything that was in Project 2025 that President Donald Trump said he didn't know anything about, and he distanced himself from it. It's his playbook. It's his playbook. So everything that is going around right now on the internet, it's F around and find out. And you have all these stories of people that this is happening to, from the hiring freeze to CBP, one app being taken away, the hiring. I mean, there's just so many things that's coming out. The pardons, and so it's definitely an interesting time to be living in, and you know it's up to us, the Democratic Party, to remind people that there is another option out there, that you know we do care about your pocketbook issues, even though you didn't feel that way. And that's on us, because our messaging is not where it needs to be. We need to get better at messaging. We need to get better at telling our stories. We need to get better at promoting our policies and how they improve people and lift people up out of poverty and be leaders. So we have a lot of things coming up election-wise. City elections are starting to happen, or not starting. The filing period is going on right now, so you have a lot of people filing. We'll have a list of those people for the city of Killeen. I'll probably wait till the filing period is over. They're doing a recall election as well, at least filing for the paperwork for members of the city of Killeen. There's supposed to be a bond election coming up as well for the city of Killeen. But all the local stuff, and hopefully get some local candidates that are running for election so you hear from them. So a lot of good things going on. This is going to be a busy year. Like I said, our commissioner's court, we're going to be changing the dates on when we meet. It's just going to be twice a month now, the first and third week of the month. So we'll see how the shows go. I think I'm pretty sure I'll try and keep it to weekly still. Hadn't made up my mind, but there's just a lot of things going out there, and maybe we could concentrate more on policies and behind the scenes and talking to people and getting them on the record. And but yeah. So anyways, have a great week. I will be this week down at the Capitol on Wednesday for County at the Capitals, advocating for you and Bell County and the Texas Association of Counties to make sure that we have all the tools necessary and to get some of that $28 billion that the state of Texas is sitting on and get some of that back here home to Bell County. So thank you for listening, and we will talk to you next week.